Hello and welcome to HITC Sport. You know the drill at this stage, lads. Football fans are fickle. 1 minute we're hating a player as the next Messi. The next thing you know, he's a washed up 32-year-old working part-time in the Carphone warehouse with a mortgage and 3 annoying kids. Oh Christ, that's my future, isn't it? But let's take a look at when football fans actually forgave the footballers that disrespected their clubs. Philippe Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho must look at his surroundings. Stuck at a club where defending is very much an afterthought. Why else would you have Lovren on the payroll? And in a city where he's more likely to have his TV robbed than win a trophy, and just think, why the hell am I not in Barcelona? Well, I'll tell you why, Phil. It's because you didn't make enough fuss over the summer. Absolute bollocks. You couldn't have been less subtle about wanting out if he just tattooed "I love Barcelona" across his forehead. Although it probably wouldn't have been worse than getting Mickey Mouse tattooed on your ribcage. He did everything by the book. He spent all summer whinging, inventing injuries and refusing to play. He didn't get his move away though, and now he's stuck in Merseyside, where everyone has conveniently forgotten the summer ever happened. It's a bit like if a fella with a face like a block of cheese was married to a woman who looked like Angelina Jolie. She could break the dishwasher, burn the car, kill the dog. He'd overlook it, alright? He's not gonna do any better. He'd be less inclined to overlook a flooded kitchen and the death of Patches if he was going out with someone who looked like this. Can you imagine if Lovren pulled those tactics? Let's just suspend reality for a second that another football club would actually want him on the payroll. But if he did, Liverpool fans would laugh him out the door. But no, since the transfer window was slammed shut, Coutinho has crawled back into the team, scored a few goals for Liverpool, and it's just like nothing happened. Purely because he's their best player by a country mile. Until January when he leaves for 150 million. Sorry Liverpool fans, you still have the ox. Cristiano Ronaldo. To this day, Man United fans still sing Cristiano Ronaldo's name, and it's easy to see why. He did score 118 goals in 292 games for them, and won pretty much everything in world football. But 6 weeks after their last Champions League win, wow, it's 9 years ago since John Terry slipped into last week, and then his teammates' wives. Someone needs to get that man a copy of Django Unchained for Christmas, because I don't think he understands what the word slave means. It definitely doesn't mean getting paid 120 grand a week to play football. At the age of 23, that man had enough money to take over Luxembourg, for Christ's sake. But despite speaking about his dream to play for Real Madrid at every opportunity, he ended up having to stay at Old Trafford for another year. All was forgiven. It's nearly a decade later and the United fans still sing his name. Having said that, they still sing about Diego Forlan 12 years after flopping at the club. Wouldn't be surprised if Fraser Campbell has a tune. Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is a club legend at Manchester United, the club's record goal scorer, who will probably have a statue built outside Old Trafford soon enough. He also bent the club over a table, threatened to leave for Man City, and fleeced them for a bigger contract. In October 2010, Rooney released a statement announcing he wanted to leave the club, citing the lack of investment in the squad. To be fair, when you're signing aliens and lads off the street, you've a right to be worried. Suddenly all the top clubs in Europe were after him. This was back when he was actually able to score. 2 days later, he decided actually I'd rather play with a homeless lad than Rocky Santa Cruz. Fair shout actually. And signed a 5-year deal of upwards 250 grand a week. The Old Trafford faithful didn't know how to feel. They hadn't experienced this level of emotional trauma since the stadium took prawn sandwiches off the canteen menu. But just like his wife, Man United fans were quick to forget the wandering eye and forgave him. Until he did it again 3 years later. David Luiz. When Chelsea sold David Luiz to PSG for £50 million in 2014, you could have probably heard the laughter all the way to Paris. Especially considering 2 months later he played against Germany like he'd never seen a football in his life. Still though, while the Chelsea fans were happy to get rid of him, the man had spent his first spell playing like he had his shoelaces tied together. Until they played PSG, he scored a goal to put them out and thought, not celebrating, I'm gonna go mental. Shocker, a footballer celebrates a goal. You'd have sworn he'd taken a piss on the pitch the way they're carrying on. 1 Premier League title later, all's forgiven. Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy had a bit of a rough year when he became famous. This was a man who'd only recently been getting smashed on vodka and Skittles before racing past hungover plumbers in Sunday League. Now he was a Premier League champion, had strange postmen dressing up as him. What a strange man. And had fans attacking his family online. Vardy was linked to Arsenal in the summer of 2016 and Leicester fans basically lost their shit. His wife was not happy. Wayne Rooney. Oh look, it's our good friend Wayne Rooney again. Since 2004, Wayne Rooney was hated by his hometown club, the team he supports. He said that for the last 13 years he's been wearing Everton pyjamas. What sort of grown man in his 30s wears pyjamas? The boy wonder did a lot to piss them off in 2004. Telling his life story to the Sun newspaper clearly annoyed them. Yeah, great idea, Wayne. Pocketing a cash off a newspaper that made money by spreading lies about dead Liverpudlians. That'll go down really well. Spoilers, it didn't. Having said that, he did put some of his hard-earned cash back into the city. Mainly into the pockets of granny prostitutes. Do they have pockets? I mean, good on him. She was putting her grandkids through school. I mean... But then he went on to sign for Manchester United and will get sued by the Everton boss. And then he did this. Yeah. To be fair, he did try to build some bridges. Bad start. Better. Bit conflicted. Leg. Someone please tell that man how to use a computer. And then he did it last summer. He finally returned to Everton, and the fans took to him in a heartbeat, where he can finally realise his dream of getting relegated with his hometown club. Ashley Cole. Tad, he couldn't even get his missus to forgive him. Jack Colback. There are some things in life that are just impossible. Convincing anybody in the Northeast that Jack Colback is a good player is just one of those things. Though there was once a time when John Carver wanted to build a team around him. John Carver was lucky he didn't get carted off the nearest insane asylum for that comment alone. Gingers everywhere must be relieved that Kevin De Bruyne exists. Because having Colback as a role model is enough to go out and buy a tub of bleach. And I don't mean for your hair, I mean to drink the thing. Honestly, watching Colback struggle to play football is a bit like how you must feel when you're struggling to make it to the end of this video. But there was once a time when he was a Premier League regular, an incognito Newcastle supporter who spent 15 years at Sunderland, and showed his love for the Magpies by scoring against them in the Tyne-Wear derby and celebrating as if he'd won the World Cup. When he switched clubs in 2014, becoming the first player to do that since 1998, Newcastle fans did embrace him for a while, before they realised how useless he was, purely because anybody who could piss off Sunderland fans that much was a good egg in their eyes. Which is why David Moyes and Ella Short could probably get free pints for life on Tyneside. Anyway, end of the video, cheers for watching, lads. If you could drop us a subscribe, that would be just terrific. We're trying to hit 100k, and if you help to get us there, you would be my favourite people in the world. Well, apart from this fella risking his life for Mark Noble's shirt. He deserves a Nobel Prize, and probably a good slap on the head. So cheers for watching, lads. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, we'll talk to you in a while.